I'm Sam. I'm the co-founder of Kingdom Impact Lab with my beautiful and amazing wife Tattoo, who co-creates videos on his channel called Motherhood Moments, where she is sharing her journey as a mother and her pursuit of becoming Christ-like as a mother and a parent. In this video for me, I want to talk through what my 6-week coaching program is about. The purpose here is, as with all of the videos in this early stage, is for me to start to talk, to start to teach, to explain things with my goal of deepening my own understanding of the reasons and the rationality behind the coaching program, the procedure, the framework. My ultimate intention would be, in order to get clarity in my own mind through teaching, so that I'm able to more precisely communicate in a simple way in the future. So in this video here, I'm going to basically talk you through what my 6-week program is. I'll tell you a little bit about why I created the program, what the framework is, who it's for, and then what you can do if you have any interest in it. So to start off with, the coaching program is for Christian entrepreneurs who have an established business and you have a high ticket offer. Your high ticket offer could be you have a coaching program, a consulting offer, you deliver a service, like digital marketing services, or anything else where you sell a high priced offer, and you have currently built your business, so your business works, your business is operating, and you find that chasing revenue targets no longer excite you. Getting to the next financial milestone is not as exciting as it was. You might find that there's no intrinsic meaning or purpose to what you do. Before, while you were building the business, you probably did find meaning in chasing your revenue targets, because you have to make money to build an established business, otherwise the business isn't going to work. And you keep putting money into it, it becomes a financial black hole. Your money, investors' money, money from the bank. Not a good place to be. So you have to build your business first. You've started to get the clients, you've started to do things are working. You're not stressed and worried about money on a day-to-day basis in the business, in your personal life. You start to think, what's next? How can I find intrinsic meaning in my business of what I'm doing? And if you feel any of this, maybe you feel burned out, because what you're doing you feel lacks no intrinsic meaning to it. You might feel like you're spinning in circles. You might feel that, basically you're searching to find meaning and purpose in what your business is. Maybe you want to find a way to integrate your faith as a Christian into your business so you can multiply your impact through what you do. A whole bunch of other things. If any of those describe you, I went through the same journey myself. I explain in detail my own personal journey in the videos, but the short version is that I've been involved as a freelancer for a decade, focusing on copywriting in order to sell high ticket offers for my clients using email marketing. I started my marketing agency. My entire basis was to hit revenue targets. I hit revenue targets to start off with, and then I decided I wanted to pursue the next revenue target. Couldn't get it to work. The reason why my business failed is because I am a transformative person at heart. I want to help people, I want to impact people, but everything that I did was based on money. So I'm attracting clients based on transactions, based on return on investment. I'm attracting freelancers to the business to work for me based on money per hour. No wonder there was a misalignment and things ultimately didn't work out for me, and it ended as a catastrophe because there's a complete misalignment. I lacked clarity on who I was, clarity on what I wanted, clarity on meaning and purpose and direction of my life and business. Then I had a series of supernatural experiences which brought me to Christ, and then instantly I got clarity on everything, and when I got clarity, things started to fall into place. I started to research, I went down the rabbit hole, spent about 1,000 hours trying to figure things out for myself, trying to understand what happened to me, why I instantly gained clarity, and I uncovered it. And then I went through the whole process for 6 months of learning, discovery, journaling and all this stuff, only to circle back to find that, well, that moment of instant clarity I had was actually right. All of the research and everything that I've done kind of supports that moment of clarity that I've had. And now I'm building this coaching program basically as a way to help other Christian entrepreneurs who experience something similar to me. You lack meaning and purpose in what you do. You want to operate your business on something that aligns with your faith and, becoming Christ-like in what you do to give intrinsic meaning and purpose. And that's what I want to do. And I'm creating a founder's version to start off with, which is going to be small with a small group of people, small, intimate, collaborative. It is a test phase. Kingdom Impact Lab. The word lab is on the end because I want to set it up as like a research entity to pursue understanding, to develop frameworks, to help me find ways to steward my gift of being a good student and loving learning, to explain complex ideas in simple ways to impact people, and so that the founder's version will be to test the framework that worked on me and got me a massive transformative result to help others to see if it works, to see if it's universal. I strongly suspect it is. I'm not certain, but it's a hypothesis that I've got. What I'm actually testing is that my own journey was, in researching, I'm creating frameworks, I'm creating sets of questions I want to ask and uncover, journaling, lots and lots of journaling, dozens and dozens of hours journaling, hundreds of hours of combined journaling and reflection and thinking about things. Essentially, the 6-week coaching program is my way to test what I look back on as the most profound activities that I did to uncover my purpose, to get crystal clear clarity on everything, and how I applied that to Kingdom Impact Lab and what I want to build. Basically, the 80-20 of the 80-20, and put that down to 6 core pillars. 6 core pillars in this coaching framework, so you can get the same result I did, but in just 6 weeks instead of it taking 6 months or longer. And essentially, what we will be covering is, first, it's going to be to anchor your identity as a person and a business in what it means to become Christ-like, what it means to anchor your life and business on biblical principles as a Christian, what it means to put Jesus and God at the top of everything. Jesus, God, means to supersede everything, all worldly ambitions and desires. Everything else is secondary, and we'll go through exactly why that is. Not so much from a theological perspective, because I don't have a deep theological background, but I do understand it on a real life application of why it works, why you need the pursuit of Jesus, the ultimate, perfect, good, sin-free, and all of this stuff. We'll help you uncover that. The reason why you need to root your identity in becoming Christ-like, and you need to get clarity on what your core values are. you need to go through the activity. We need to discuss what the core values are, and you need to know what they are, and you need to write them down, and you need to print them off, and you need to put them as part of your business manifesto, the core values on your business website, whatever it is. The reason is because you need to anchor yourself in something solid that will allow you to be consistent in everything that you do. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're like me, and you may not be, I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, I'll hold my hands up to that. One of my biggest mistakes is that it's to make decisions on a day-to-day basis where I am essentially deceiving myself or lying to myself or tricking myself into believing that the decision I'm making now, which serves my short-term best interest at the detriment to the other person, is the right thing to do. Put another way is, if I'm in the past, when I'm faced with a situation where it will avoid short-term pain for myself or give me a short-term gain, even if it's not in the best interest of the person I'm working with, I would do it, justifying the reason for it. So I would act in a way that serves my own self-interest, and then I would come up with reasons to justify why I did that. Instead of the reason why I do that is because I did not have a solid foundation that was deep enough, that was solid enough for me to anchor to, so I could make all my decisions that are consistent with this solid rock, of this solid foundation of who I am as a person, what my identity is. And therefore, because that doesn't exist, what's right and wrong, what's consistent and inconsistent with who I am as a person is all subjective, because who I am as a person changes from moment to moment based on emotions and whims, and more specifically, my identity of who I am is based on my interactions with the world today, and the world is materialistic, based on consumerism, focusing on worldly desires and all these pulls, focused on making money, and so all based on what podcasts I'd listen to, all of the stuff that I'd consume and put into me on a day-to-day basis, all of the things influencing me on a subconscious level on a day-to-day basis would subsequently influence the way I would construct my personal identity on a moment-to-moment, day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis. And then basically it's entirely subjective. It's just changing here, and changing there, which would therefore allow me to justify decisions which deep down I know are probably not the right thing to do, but I do it anyway, and then I justify the reasons for doing that afterwards. I can think of a few examples off the top of my head, but I don't want to share them for one, for the sake of time, and two, for, well, I'm okay with being open and transparent about certain things about me, but I don't want to, bring other people into it, and I need to respect other people's confidentiality on certain things too, and I might have to provide more specific details. One example that comes to mind with this is when Jamie was born. I was at the hospital. We were struggling with money and finance at the time because the long-term contract I had with the client was falling through. They owed me a lot of money outstanding, which I never received. My own fault for getting myself into that mess, based on greed. And my wife had just had an emergency cesarean. She was in bed, just all over the place, just sleeping, recovering, resting. My son was in his little basin out somewhere else, but nurse wouldn't bring him in. Yet he had to stay there in the heat, I forgot why. and I'm sat there on the laptop not having anything else to do, and I'm basically doing prospecting for my business, trying to find clients, trying to respond to emails and different things. At the time, I justified it because we needed money, we needed to focus on getting money, we needed to, it was a massive burden because the cesarean cost a lot of money. It was double what we expected, because we went in for a natural birth, and then at the last minute it had to go through this and all of the other things as well. And so I justified it, but it was the right thing to do. But in hindsight, even if I justified it that, well, there's nothing else I can do here. I'm just sitting here on my own. My wife's asleep. The baby's away from me. There's nothing I can do other than just sit here. I may as well occupy my mind and do something productive. But is it really the right thing that I could have been doing at the time? Probably not. I think a better thing I could have been doing is just, something that would not distract me from the moment of what I was in, because I would be there. I should have been there to support and help my wife in any way I possibly could. And if my wife would have woken up and needed something, or just needed support, or needed to know that I was there, and I'm sat next to her on the laptop writing an email or something, well, I'm not exactly fully present to be there for the best interest of her. And so, but I justified it. I justified it as the right thing to do because my immediate needs and concerns was chasing money. We needed money to get revenue and blah, 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 blah. So that would be an example, one example of how not rooting my identity in something solid put me into a position where, based on emotions and fleeting whims and worldly pulls and all these other different things, that I was able to sit there and confidently justify why I'm doing prospecting sat next to my wife 2 hours after she's given birth. It's not the right thing to do. But you justify it. That's what happens when you don't have a solid anchor of your identity, who you are, what you stand for. If you do root your identity in something that's solid foundation, what it means to be Christ-like, the pursuit of Christ-likeness, and you do this, you find yourself in a different position, and then you make decisions which are the right thing to do. Deep down is the right thing to do, but go against your self-interest in the present moment, and it's painful to do. But that's where you have integrity. You resist the temptations of the short-term pulls, which is for the short-term gratification, because you know what you're doing is the right thing. That's why you need to anchor your identity in your core values first. An example of this is a client I've worked with before. So I got this client from Upwork, and I was struggling at the time, and it was extremely painful, which is probably why I stayed working with him for a longer time than I should have. I liked him as a person, great guy, got on with him, but he was the kind of person that he was busy for the sake of being busy. He just liked being busy, and as a result of this, he changed his mind a lot and moved from one thing to the next. So, for example, we had an agreement. This is our third project together, I think, where we would build out what was it? It was my 90-day sequence that I developed, where essentially it'd be over the course of 90 days, we'd have a series of pre-scheduled emails to go out based on the date that they joined the email list, in order to bring, at an optimal time, book a call here and sign up for his services, whatever it is, and then afterwards it'd drop off nurture, and then at another point we'd have another peak where it's to get book calls. And the reason is that we follow this set schedule process. If people opt into your email list at different times, you should have a spike of book calls at consistently from this spike of book calls and this spike of book calls, because you know, if you're getting people to book on day 7 and people sign up to your email list on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you should have that spike on every day of the week, and then that kind of thing. In addition to sending daily emails and other stuff as well. I won't go into the technical details. I forgot the price of it, but the actual price of an offer was $5,000 is what it was supposed to be. But I don't think this guy paid that, and I don't think we agreed to that. But what I do know is that at the time, this was pretty much before I just decided. This was pretty much just after I decided to end my business, because I'd just had enough of it. It was a week or two before my wife was giving birth to our second child. We'd already elected for a planned cesarean. We knew what the costs were. We knew how much it would cost. And the outstanding amount from this client was pretty much the exact amount that the procedure would cost. And he kept changing one week to the next. One week he wants to build the system. Next week, let's not proceed with the. I'm not going to give you the assets that you've asked for me to build this system out. I'm not going to record the videos because this week I'm working on that. And then after that, I'm going to fly halfway around the world, so my mother-in-law and father-in-law can meet the new baby, and so then I'm off for a month-long trip across the world, and then they get back, and then this week he's talking about something else and doing something else, and you get the point. Week to week it changes. This, and it reached a point where I thought, well, this has got to stop. I can't keep dragging this on because I'm paid a fixed fee. I'm not getting paid month to month, and this client changing direction is costing my time. I'm not prepared. I don't want to be in a position where I'm beholden to him in exchange for a fee when my second baby comes, because that's the priority. And I would not be in a position where I'd be able to deliver my best with a baby. I couldn't commit to it. So I said, look, we need to stop. We need to end this. I said to him, look, I'll be honest with you. The direction that your business is now taking is different from what we agreed to a while back. I don't think that this email system is the right thing for you at this moment, and I don't think it's the right thing to do. It's not in your best interest. I could have literally created the rest of the system and given it to him in 2 hours to justify the fee, but I didn't. I was transparent about it and said it's not going to help you anymore because you're moving direction to something else, and this system means maintenance. You know, I told him what it was, and so I said, well, what I would suggest is, as a result of the time that I've invested, I think the fair thing to do is give me 50% of the outstanding fee, and then we'll call it a day, because this is dragged on for months and months. It's time cost for me, you know. He didn't want to. He said, well, I've paid you for these deliverables. You haven't given it to me. If you give me these deliverables, I'll give you the fee. So I tried to explain to him, well, you know, the service we've been part of here, it's not just the deliverables. The deliverables is the tangible asset that I'm going to give, the email sequence and all of this. But, you know, the benefit is the strategy, the mentoring, the coaching, the fact that when you have people, trolls in your business, that I took a lot of interest in helping you get through it and giving your mind, you know, changing your mindset and changing your perspective. All of these things, it took my time, but I wanted to do it for him because it was the right thing to do. Oh, well, that was nice, Sam, but actually I'm paying you for these deliverables. Why don't you just finish the deliverables and I'll pay you the fee? And I just said to him that, look, this isn't the right thing to do. I'm not going to do the deliverables. I'll forego the outstanding fee. It's not the right thing to do because you're not going to use them. You know, I could do it in 2 hours and justify the outstanding fee, but I'm just not going to do it because it's not in your best interest. And then I ended the contract, and that was it. It was completely against my own self-interest, because the outstanding fee would cover the cesarean operation, but it was the right thing to do. I was able to make that decision and be at peace with it, because I had rooted my identity in a solid set of core values based on Christian principles. I knew it was the right thing to do, and that's where I did it. It was painful. I wasn't sure at the time, and all these things, and the short-term emotions that are affecting the way that you make decisions all came into effect. But ultimately, I made the right decision, and it was the right decision. You know, that's why you need to have root your core values. Because if you didn't do it, if I didn't root my core values, I know for a fact, I guarantee you that I would have given them the emails. They would not have been high quality, wouldn't have been great. I wouldn't have done my best work. I'd have done them as fast as I can, delivered it to him, and then got him to email me got him to process the fee, and then I'd justify it afterwards by saying, well, I've already done 98% of the work. Okay, 98%, realistically, 90% of the work I'd already done and got everything there. So naturally, I am entitled to 90% of the fee anyway. I wasn't paid for all the time that you were messing around and changing direction and doing all these things. I would have justified it. 100% I would have. But it wasn't the right thing to do. That's why you first have to put anchor in your core values. Then the second thing to do once you put your core values is you need to anchor your business vision in what your core values are, in what it means to become Christ-like. Again, you need to have this solid foundation, because if not, you'll end up like I was with my business, with Freedom in Marketing, where essentially I'm operating a business to make money for freedom and lifestyle. But there's no intrinsic meaning to that, because once you've achieved freedom and the lifestyle that you want, chasing revenue targets are no longer exciting, it's no longer motivating, and you just don't want to do it anymore. But the passion goes. Well, at least it was for me. But of course, when you anchor your vision in becoming Christ-like, when you have the perspective that you're stewarding your business for the benefit of others, for kingdom impact, and all of these things, everything you do has meaning. It means you're constantly progressing up your sort of Jacob's ladder, up into infinity. You're on a quest. You're on an infinite quest to pursue the impossible. Humans are programmed to find meaning in the day-to-day progression. That's where we get our pleasure from, our joy from, is the progression towards things. We like progressing and moving towards a goal, but when we achieve it, that motivation goes. So if we anchor our vision in what it means to become Christ-like, we are on that pursuit until the day we die. And everything just keeps getting better and better for us. That's why you need to anchor it in Christ-like, to transform everything you do into meaning. So the next thing to do after you've clarified your vision is you need to set goals, and we'll help you set big picture goals based on reality for your unique situation of what you're in, what your unique business is, your unique target audience, and then we can help you align, your big picture goals. Then we can bring that down to a yearly goal, quarterly goals, 90-day goals, monthly goals, weekly goals, daily goals, daily actions you can do in order to pursue Christ-likeness at the smallest unit of time. We'll show you exactly what to do, how to do it, what to do in order to feel the progression. We'll help you set KPIs to track that are more aligned with kingdom impact, helping others, doing things to glorify God in ways that please God, and basically this whole process here is going to help you realign your business from chasing worldly successes, revenue when revenue is no longer exciting because you've built the business, you want more, to having a eternal significance, to having kingdom impact, to using your business for the benefit of others. And again, the way to do that, you don't have to join the program to do it. The way you do it is clarify your identity first. You need to know who you are so you can be consistent, so you can have integrity. Use this identity to base your vision, your business vision. Then create big goals, big, hairy, audacious goals, then called, I forgot what you're calling the term, but that's what it is. Biggest goal you can think of. And then you break the biggest goals you can think of down into smaller goals to the smallest unit of time possible, which is your day-to-day decisions. And then you proactively choose to act in a way that aligns with becoming Christ-like, out of extravagant love to be a blessing to everyone you interact with, out of a pursuit of excellence in character and integrity, your ability to do the best you possibly can, out of humble service, so you can keep keep pride at the door, humble service, recognizing that it's not you that does it, and then of course having integrity. And then when you proactively apply that in the day-to-day decisions, you are then resisting the natural worldly pulls towards the transactional, worldly, secular thinking, which is all around you. It's sort of the spirit of the marketplace is all transactional, based on money. You're resisting that, and you're proactively becoming Christ-like in what you do. And then we'll help you apply that to your current business systems, to everything you do, and then you're going to transform your entire business from, you feel like you're not having kingdom impact, you might feel burned out, you might feel all these pains and pressures and stresses, to suddenly everything you do becomes an act of worship, everything you do has intrinsic meaning, everything you do aligns with what your unique purpose is. You've uncovered your purpose, we'll help you uncover your unique gifts, what you're uniquely good at, and then how to apply those unique gifts, how to steward your unique gifts for the benefit of others and for kingdom impact. And in general, the goal is that you'll walk away from this with a completely different perspective, and you'll feel passionate about your business again. You'll feel passionate about what you're going to do. You'll feel excitement to move forward. And there's a bonus module that I'm considering to put in at the moment, which I haven't decided yet, but I think it's proving to include it, is financial stewardship. You need to base the financial model of your business on biblical principles too, so you can steward your finances and resources for kingdom impact. And if you've got a high ticket offer, like I said at the start of the video, was it this video or another video? Anyway, regardless, if you have a high ticket offer, you probably have high profit margins, and you can probably get 50% profit margins if you trim the fat on the systems and you build things the right way so it's efficient. If you have 50% profit margins, in order to be a good financial steward for kingdom impact, you can use your financial resources for kingdom impact to invest in projects and initiatives that align with your own passions, your own gifts, and what you want to see in the world for the benefit of your community, your church, whatever it is. So just as an example for me is that one thing that I'm passionate about is education and learning. And so one of my ultimate goals in my business is to use the profits that I make in order to invest in initiatives, projects, both small and big, in order to, based around education. So one thing that I want to do is, as soon as I start to get the business profitable, and I'm not chasing revenue again, because this is my actually it's my third business, come to think about it. But the first one was Moneymaker Copy, I call that Moneymaker Copy as a freelancer, Freedom in Marketing, which is my agency, and then this one. So it is technically my third business. I'm starting from zero. I've got to make it work. But when I've got the finances there, the first thing I want to do to steward my finance, to steward my resources is I want to invest in a podcast, and then the purpose of the podcast is going to be to interview people on what it means to be in the workplace, in the marketplace, in business, in a way that are like operating on biblical principles, and then use that as like long form interviews to share stories and share the insights and to motivate and inspire people. That's what I want to do. I want to do that locally, and then in the future I want to invest in various things for education. I want to build a low-cost membership, which would be $10 a month, or be equivalent in the local currency, which would be based on a big curriculum and how to become Christ-like in different domains of life. It has to be paid in order. Payment equals accountability. People don't value free. It also has to kind of be self-sustaining in terms of the revenue from subscribers, from members, will cover the costs, and I'd be able to then invite people into the membership and to teach them all these different things. And the goal of a membership would be to make a small profit margin, just so it's self-sustaining. The goal of a podcast would be not to make any money at all, but I'd be using the money from my business to invest into these two assets, which would be for Kingdom Impact. And then long term, I'd be able to invest in bigger projects, to be confirmed kind of thing, and which would be the way to steward your financial resources in a way that aligns with Kingdom Impact, which would then give you intrinsic motivation in order to increase your profit margins by serving people to the best of your ability with extravagant love and humble service. So that could be that may or may not, but probably will be an extra bonus in there as well. So that's all I've got for you in this video. If anyone's actually stuck around and you're interested in this or learning more, get in touch with me at sam@kingdomimpactlab.com. That's all I've got for you. Make it a great day. Be a blessing to everyone you interact with. See you next time. Bye for now.